Well, the pictures are truly shocking and gut-wrenching, too graphic, in fact, for us to show. Rolling Stone magazine has just released several new photos allegedly taken by the so-called Kill Team, a rogue U.S. striker group in Afghanistan that is on trial for the murder of civilians. I'm joined now by Rolling Stone executive editor Eric Bates. Colonel Jack Jacobs is back with me. It's good to see you, Eric. How are you doing?
Good to be here.
There's so many parts of this I could read. Let me just read one excerpt that I think sets this up. The soldiers began taking photographs of themselves celebrating their kill. Holding a cigarette rakishly in one hand, Private First Class Andrew Holmes posed for the camera with the 15-year-old victim's bloody and half-naked corpse, grabbing the boy's head by the hair as if it were a trophy deer. Staff Sergeant Kelvin Gibbs, the platoon's squad leader, started messing around with the kid, moving his arms and mouth and acting like the kid was talking. And this, for me, wasn't even necessarily the most graphic part of this article. What was going on, Eric? What did your investigation find?
This was a group of at least 12 soldiers who, over the course of about 4 months, basically went on a shooting spree, picking out unarmed Afghan civilians, targeting them for execution, killing them, and then staging it to make it look like that it had been an insurgent attack. A lot of these soldiers are now charged. Several of them have been convicted. But what was disturbing, we found, was that there's evidence, or at least a suggestion, that responsibility for this may go higher and wider than the Pentagon has let on. No officers have been charged in this case. In fact, the first lieutenant of this platoon that went on the killing spree has been promoted to captain. So there's real questions about whether there's going to be accountability for the people in leadership positions.
There was also, I thought, a very striking story about someone who wrote home to his dad, who, by the way, was a vet, and told him what was going on and said, in fact, they're planning another kill. He tried to report it. What happened?
He reported it to the base in Washington where these soldiers were based out of, and they basically told him, well, we'll have to wait for your son to come home to handle that. Time and again, the military had evidence that something was going on. When this 15-year-old boy was killed, the very next day, 20 villagers marched on the local base in Afghanistan to protest and to say that this kid had been killed by the American troops.
Because this boy's dad was a village elder.
That's right.
So, Jack, obviously, you know, there are allegations that there was a cover-up in this case, and there'll be more about that, but always a concern about another Abu Ghraib. From what you know about this, how does it compare?
Oh, it's much worse than Abu Ghraib. If the allegations are true, and some of them must be true because somebody's already been convicted and is spending time in jail for it, it's much worse than Abu Ghraib. You had people who murdered innocent people. I mean, civilians are in a very difficult position in a war. The good guys have guns, the bad guys have guns, civilians don't have guns. And invariably, there are people, innocent people, who get caught in the middle and get killed. But you're talking here about allegations about soldiers committing cold-blooded murder. And I mean, it's very bad news indeed, much worse than Abu Ghraib.
Jack Jacobs, Eric Bates, it's in Rolling Stone magazine. Thank you for coming in.
You're welcome.